What's going on, guys? It's Greg here today, and I'm bringing you a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 gameplay commentary. Today, we're not actually going to be talking about any tips and tricks in the gameplay commentary. I actually have a question for a lot of you guys out there, and I figured I'd do this in video format because, well, I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, and in this gameplay, it does capture the experience. So, my question to you guys out there is, do you think Modern Warfare 2 has a problem with people leaving games? And this is something that I've had quite a big issue with since the game's launch, and it really affects the way the game plays, it flows, and just overall how much fun I feel can be had, because most of the time the lobby's constantly refreshing, and it just, to me, I'm playing a first-person shooter game, right? The whole point of me playing a first-person shooter game is to have engagements with other players and have gunfights and all these other kind of things, but I just overall see so many different people constantly joining and leaving in matches, and it's very rare that I ever have a match that somebody doesn't leave, or I would say that stays full for the majority of the game. And it makes it harder for me to maybe sometimes get some gameplay with certain things, that I want to do because of time constraints or whatever it might be. And if I'm spending so much time just playing as people who are leaving, well, that kind of just ruins the whole aspect of gathering footage. And for you guys as players that I am asking this question to, you might be confused at times in your matches, where's the action? Or you might be trying to engage enemies or whatnot, or maybe you really just had a really good match and you finally got your kill streaks you've been working hard trying to earn or whatever it is, and all of a sudden the lobby disappears. And whenever somebody calls in kill streaks for me, the thing I never really understood is, what is it that causes people to leave games so much over kill streaks? Because there's a perk in the game that allows you to completely avoid kill streaks, right? If you change your perk to if you have a class with cold-blooded on, VTOLs, Overwatch helos, all that kind of stuff, they don't target you. If your enemy's using a gunship or chopper gunner, they're not going to know it's you unless they're paying attention to who's their teammates and all that kind of stuff, because then they'll be able to notice, oh yeah, that's an enemy player with cold-blooded on, because it's not going to highlight them in red. So it makes me wonder, why do people really leave so much over kill streaks? Is it that they feel the match is too unbalanced? Is it that they just don't find it fun to play against kill streaks? And personally for me, I find the entire fun of Call of Duty has always been around the kill streak aspect of the game. It's the only game out there that does it. If I really just wanted a pure infantry or vehicle experience, I could go play Battlefield, or, if I want a really competitive experience, I could play Counter-Strike or Valorant or something of that nature. If I want a game mode if I want to play a game that feels really realistic and is not, a arcade style shooter, I could go play something like Arma or Escape from Tarkov or something of that nature. But for Call of Duty, the thing I've always enjoyed about this game is the kill streak aspect. And back in the day, while people would leave games over kill streaks, it was nothing to this extent. And even in Modern Warfare 2019 and Black Ops Cold War and Call of Duty Vanguard, I felt like nobody was really just rage quitting and giving up over kill streaks. So what is it about Modern Warfare 2 right now, and why is this such a noticeable thing for me and many other players who, are in, I guess you could say, higher skill-based matchmaking brackets? Because I gotta be honest with you guys, I watch, other YouTubers and people who are exploiting matchmaking and they reverse boost, and one of the things I've noticed is nobody leaves the game. So I honestly have to wonder, I don't want to draw conclusions based off of that about what it says about the different skill levels or things of that nature, but something here is going on, in my opinion, about the whole kill streaks and maybe skill-based matchmaking in Modern Warfare 2. Is it that people are finally fed up? I don't really understand it, because personally for me, if somebody gets kill streaks on me, I just shoot them down, or I switch to cold-blooded and I just play around that. The only time I ever really leave a game is if I'm solo playing against, I could tell it's a party, because the teams are severely unbalanced, and I just know that there is absolutely nothing I could do in that match. Then there's really no point of even playing through it, and you might as well just leave. But that's really the only time, if I see kill streaks coming from one or two players on the other team, and, it's a chopper gunner or a VTOL, most of the time I'm able to take out that player or shoot down the VTOL or chopper gunner, or just, go put on cold-blooded, go kill the player that called them in, and pretty much the rest of the game, they have to try to re-earn them streaks. And I never really noticed it as too much of a problem. So I just want to ask you guys today, for my conversation, for me, I've never really been bothered by enemy kill streaks. Do they get annoying sometimes? I mean, they don't really bother me because, I'm used to calling them in as well, so, what comes around goes around, but I feel that there might just be a subset of players that don't really like kill streaks, and this is something that I wanted to talk about with you guys in general is, there used to be game modes in Call of Duty that actually removed kill streaks. They were called bare bones. And then there were other game modes that had kill streaks, but it was like classic style kill streak. You could only run like a UAV, a precision airstrike, and then like an attack helicopter, for example. And you couldn't have like advanced UAVs or chopper gunners or anything like that, right? It was just like stuff that it changes the dynamic of the game, but it doesn't change anything too crazy. Now, they have not brought this back, and another thing is I feel that maybe one of the reasons, and I hate to speculate because I'm not in the theory of, or like in the head, of other people, and I hate theory crafting and trying to put words in other people's mouths, but I feel that a lot of this issue could be resolved by people who feel like they are playing against a party that, again, with matchmaking, as a solo player, if you're going up against a 6-man party, it just really feels like it really feels like there's nothing you can do, especially whenever you're going up against an organized party and you're playing with random teammates that you're not communicating with. So there was a playlist back in the day called Mercenary, and what Mercenary was is it was basically, in order to play Mercenary, you had to be solo. You could not be in a party. And I used to play Mercenary a lot because I did not like going up against parties when I play solo, and I used to find playing Mercenary extremely fun, and I honestly miss Mercenary to death. Like, I really don't like playing normal without playing with other people and friends, because I feel like, that's the whole point. And back in the day, whenever Mercenary is an option, I was like, oh, okay, other solo players, let's have a nice fair fight, right? Solo players versus solo players. So the thing is if Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is one of the best-selling Call of Duty games of all time, and it is a game that is doing very well with the player retention, all that kind of stuff, according to Activision, then why is it that we don't have some of these classic game modes that give a variety of experiences for people in this game? Maybe the people who really just leave games all the time over kill streaks because they just hate kill streaks, but they like the gunplay of Call of Duty. They like going for camos. They like doing these different things. Why is it that past Call of Duty games had Mercenary, and that we could have Mercenary for people who, or I'm sorry, not Mercenary, bare bones for people who don't like kill streaks and they don't want people to be earning streaks on them, and they just want to have a classic PvP experience without kill streaks. Call of Duty used to be a game, I feel, with something for everybody, but I feel like in recent years they have been kind of moving away from this with their vision and how they want the game to be played, instead of trying to cater towards all audiences. And I feel that what we should do is we should go back to having Mercenary, bare bones, and normal. And it's okay to have a playlist, especially because we have filters nowadays. We don't have true playlists like we did back in the day that separated a bunch of people. Nowadays we have like the same matchmaking pool, and it just depends on what you filter is going to be what you find, and it's going to matchmake people based off of the filters that are set. So I feel like nowadays it's less restrictive than it ever was, because back in the day there was a single game mode for a single playlist, and I feel that we could have filters for things like Tier 1, which again I think it would be better if Hardcore was the standard, because a lot of people like Hardcore over Tier 1. That seems to be the general consensus. But we could have Normal, we could have Hardcore, we could have Bare Bones, we could have Mercenary, and overall I don't see the game population being hurt all that much, especially considering we have crossplay in the mix. And on top of that, that would be pretty much your playlist. You would pick between 4 different styles of gameplay, and of course whatever game modes you filter is what you're going to matchmake with. And most people just leave it on to default anyways, because I would say the average player just wants to get on, play the game. They don't really care too much about like what game mode they're playing. They just want to play some Call of Duty, so they're just going to play core with all game modes selected, and they're going to play the game that way. So I don't see why we can't have these different playlists for different experiences, because I know not all of you guys are like me. You don't all just love kill streaks. You don't all just love playing core, and I understand that. So what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to find ways that we can remedy this whole rage quitting issue, because it is a pandemic in this game. And you can see right here, there are 4 people left in the match. Now, this game didn't really, show it too much like other gameplays might, but I'm telling you guys, there are gameplays where I might get a VTOL or an advanced UAV really quick in the match, and the lobby just dies. The enemy team forfeits, and there is nothing to be played. It's just back to the lobby and back to searching. So I feel that maybe one of the things they could do is definitely give us more options in how we want to play the game, and I think that that would overall help out, besides, of course, the elephant in the room, which is skill-based matchmaking. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Peace out.